New colour for Vlogmas. This is the point at which I wonder how it's all going to turn out.
Hello, lovely people. Guess what day it is? It's December 1st, and you know what that means? It's Vlogmas Day 1. I'm so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Talking of candy, before I do that, let me just introduce myself properly. I'm Nicola. This is Stitches and Slapdashery. I love to knit, sew, crochet, and a bunch of other things, and sometimes I experiment with things I've never done before, like decoupage last week, which wasn't that great. But anyway, I like making stuff, and if you would like to spend Vlogmas with me every day up until Christmas, I'd be honoured. So, hope you continue watching. Yesterday, we indulged somewhat excessively in sweet treats. There's a small restaurant about 45 minutes drive from our house, so we don't go there very often. But they had a pop-up shop at a local store yesterday, and we went and we bought a whole bunch of baked goods. Now, to be fair, there are 5 of us living in my house. There's me, my husband, aka Mr. Stitches, and my 3 adult sons. And we all have sweet teeth, sweet tooths. And well, we bought 10 items, and so that was only an average of 2 items each. So not excessive, really. So we got them home, and we all had a little bit of everything because we cut them up, and we had got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 different things. There were not too many duplicates. And so we were all able to try a little bit of everything and enjoy that. So that was like a kickoff to December, a rather nice one. Also, in the afternoon, Mr. Stitches and I went to get a tree. We didn't do anything fancy. We went to Home Depot. I live in Canada. Home Depot has some great trees. They ranged in price from about $25 for a small one to $57 for a medium and about $85 for a large one. We went for the middle of the road one. It's the perfect height for our living room. And even though it was tied in string, it turned out to be a lovely, bushy, well-shaped tree. So we're really, really happy with it. And I've been decorating. And of course, while I was decorating, I put the TV on. YouTube Music has videos with Christmas music to set the atmosphere, right? You have to get the atmosphere right. And I was thinking somebody might help me do it. But in the end, I did it myself, and that's fine. I had fun. As you can see, I've decorated myself for Christmas. I haven't had this much colour in my hair for months, and it was at the point where people were actually saying, "Where's the colour in your hair?" Even people who were customers of mine last year at Fabricland, they would come into the shop I'm working in now and say, "Oh, I almost didn't recognise you. You don't have any colour in your hair." And I was just agonizing, okay, should I go to the hairdresser and pay $150 to get it cut and colored by her, which I think I did beginning of the year. And even just a cut at the salon I go to is about 70. And so I thought, blow it, I'm going to do it myself. During those COVID years, I was doing it myself all the time. So I just got the clippers out, buzz, buzz, buzz. And I think I did a decent job. It'll do. That's what the Stitches and Slapdashery motto is all about. It'll do. Done is better than perfect. So, cut my hair last night. Attacked it with the bleach this morning. I have 2 different kinds of colour in the cupboard already. There was some Strawberry Leopard brand, which was called Fantasy, which is like a blue-green. I had a little bit of purple and pink Manic Panic. I did try to put a little bit of the pink on the tips, just to sort of add a little depth to the colour on the top, but you can't really see it. It looks mostly blue-green. I did dilute it. When I went to Sally Beauty yesterday, I got the bleach, and I also got a white cream semi-permanent dye that's just transparent. And so you dilute the colour with it. So it could have been more intense than this. If you think this is intense, this is only about half of what it could have been. So of course, what's going to happen is I'm going to be going to work all week, and people are going to be saying something about the hair or making funny looks at me, giving me funny looks. And I'll have completely forgotten that my hair is not the usual brown/grey. And so they'll say something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, I had a lovely time decorating the tree. There's memories on the tree. We have what I used to call, the kids' Kelowna grandmother. She gave us some decorations years ago, and they're on the tree, and that's very bittersweet for us. And there's various things I've made over the years. There are some little Lego sets, which I think we got last year, and lots of gnomes. And we also have the Lee Valley silver, what do you call them, icicles, and the silver stars. I just put the icicles on this year. I left the stars off. And in the box, actually, I found these little gloves. They're those magic gloves which stretch to fit anybody. And I wear them in the winter all the time. I have a very boring grey pair, which I have already been wearing, obviously, because it's now December. And they're great because they're thin and you can layer them with some fingerless mitts on top. So last year after Christmas, probably January, one of the local supermarkets was selling these for $1. I thought, I have to have a pair of these. So now these are out so I can wear them every time I go outside. So much fun. So if you've been watching my vlogs at all, you'll know I have some plans for Vlogmas. Before we move on to those, I just have to show you my chubby chicken that I made this week. This is a pattern by somebody on Ravelry. Their name is Look a Hook on Ravelry. And it's not officially a PDF or anything that they've published on Ravelry. They have it linked in one of their project pages, or a couple of their project pages. So if you look at Look a Hook's profile, at their projects, I think 2 or 3 of these projects are chickens, and you will be able to find the link to the pattern. I'll see if I'll hopefully remember to link it underneath this video. But what I did with this one is I used 3 strands of the Ice Yarn Sweet Baby, which I've been using for the 10-stitch twist blanket, because the 10-stitch twist blanket is slow knitting. So I'm going to make a lovey-sized blanket with the knitted part of it, and then this can go with it when I figure out who it's going to go with. But it's the same pattern as these chickens here. I made these 2 a while back in the small size and the large size. And they're super cute, as they say. And they also don't like to stand up because they're so rounded on the bottom. So maybe I'll leave this girl with these. She wedges in there quite nicely. I put a few fairy lights around in here as well. It's rather fun. So good news about the serger. I got the serger working really well. I was a bit scared of it. So for the first couple of days of bringing it home, I did not actually switch it on. But Friday, I think it was Friday, I switched it on. It worked. That's the first sign of a good thing. And then I put 4 different coloured spools across the back. Now I hear that that's a really good way of checking whether your tension is correct, because if your threads are all different colours, you can see which ones are not the correct tension. If one's all loopy and loosey-goosey, then you know to tighten that one. So I thought I had threaded it correctly. I was testing it out on some fleece and some canvas just to see how the stitches looked, and it wasn't looking good. And so I looked up the online manual. Oh, the amazing thing about the internet these days, right, is you can just Google manual for Janome New Home Serger or True Lock 134D, and it's there, the whole thing. I have no idea how old this machine is, but it works perfectly. Doesn't really matter how old it is if it works perfectly. And it does get some good ratings online, which I probably should have checked before I bought it. But I bought it anyway. So I was agonizing about the tension. I was being very patient with myself because I thought this is a brand new thing to me, and I've heard that sergers can be tricky to thread. So I looked through the manual and I rethreaded it. So the first time I had partly gone with the tutorial and partly gone with the diagram on the front of the machine. And I think when I did it carefully, the second time, step by step, I think I might have missed something with that bottom looper. So I rethreaded it all right to left, because I'd originally done it left to right. Apparently you're supposed to thread it right to left. Who knew? And it was still really loose. And then I thought, hang on a minute, let's just make sure that the thread's going through the tension discs. Turns out the 2 top knobs, which go to the 2 needles, were not tensioning at all because I didn't have the thread in the right place. I actually pulled off the knobs on the front of the machine and made sure the thread was in the right place. And then it worked perfectly. So I'm really excited. Got it working. Tension is beautiful. And now it's all ready for when I next want to sew any knits or finish off any edges. And I'm really glad to have that in my toolbox for the future. I've wanted one for a really long time, and I thought it was going to be an expensive investment, but it was not. So that's good. Well, that's a lot of chat already, isn't it, for day 1? I pulled out this bag, which has my Christmas cross stitch in for this year. It's the tree. And that I bought from Thread and Paper in Salmon Arm not long ago, because I happened to be up that way and I wanted to get an extra little cross stitch project for December. I pulled down my 2 beautiful cottage spun skeins or cakes. These are King Cole cottage spun, and it's bulky yarn. I don't normally go for standard red and green for Christmas, but I happen to be in Thread and Paper, same time as I bought the cross stitch kit, and I saw these and I thought, this is going to make the most perfect Vlogmas project. I'm still not sure what I'm going to make. It'll be crochet or knit, and I still don't know that. But there are 300 grams there. And how many meters is that? It's a UK yarn, so it probably only has meters on it. Well, let me see. It must say somewhere on here. Yes, 225 meters, approximately 246 yards, 100% acrylic. The recommended needle size is 6 millimeters and doesn't say a hook size, but that's probably about the same. Suggestions for something lovely to make with that? So I'm really looking forward to this month's activities. I'm looking forward to vlogging each day, making stuff every day if possible, hoping not to let work get in the way of my creation. Because, you know, play is as important, if not more important than work. It just doesn't pay. So we do the work for pay and the play for fun and mental health, good mental health, right? And I hope you'll come along with me for the ride for December. I also have a quilt project planned, because right now in my dining room I have a rather fall/autumn themed wall quilt on there, and I really need a Christmas quilt on that wall. So I have the fabrics, I have cut out some of the squares, and it's just going to be a simple snowball block wall hanging. I'm probably just going to use scraps of Christmas fabric from years past to do the back, because no one's going to see it anyway. So that's it for now, and I'll probably add more to this a little bit later on today.
I added some covered buttons to my Technicolor dream coat, just 3 of them. But I had these button blanks in a tin somebody had given me a long time ago. So I picked some orange fabric and I crocheted some orange loops, and now I can close my coat.
Vlogmas Day 1 is coming to an end. Have my hot chocolate. I've made a start on my cross stitch. I have done all of 7 stitches on there. This fox magnetic needle holder, I have no idea where I got that from. But it's a fun way to keep track of the needle. It's sliding. I think it needs to have a stronger magnet. Anyway, it's very cute. And I remembered to bring my December journal that I made a little while ago so that I can start keeping track of my Vlogmas notes and anything else I'm doing this month. And I have one of my glitter gel pens so that I can start writing in it. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.